Today I'm going to unbox and take a quick look at Next War Iran from Mitchell Land, the designer, and the original system design from Gene Billingsley. This is published by GMT Games, which was kind enough to send this to me, so thank you. And it's the latest installment in the Next War series. I've covered some in that series, predominantly Next War Poland, and this is the latest one, which is dealing with, can you tell, Iran in the Middle East. Now, the Next War series is true to its namesake. It's dealing with the next war. It's modern day and or near future conflicts in each of the different regions that it covers. You know, they've done Vietnam, they've done Taiwan, they've done again Poland. I think they did India and Pakistan as well. Anyway, they've outdistanced me. So I need to get back into this, which is something that I've been wanting to play a lot more. But one of the things that kind of keeps this off my table is it's a relatively complex game. If you look, let's look at the back here, and you'll kind of get a sense of that. You know, it sets it as a normal complexity of 5, and then if you take the advanced rules, which has all the chrome, it's an 8. I think those are skewed a little bit low. I think this game is one of the more complicated games that I've had or have dove into in recent times. And even at the regular level, I think it's a little bit more than a 5, but you know, your mileage may vary. As you can see here, there's an example of the map that you're going to be playing on, which is Hex Encounter, but there's going to be some abstract elements to this because you're dealing with a lot of different nations that border along this region, and you can get an example of some of the counters there. You've got Republic of Iran, you have Saudi Arabia, UAE, Qatar, Oman, Israel, United States Air Force, United States Navy, United States Army, United States Marines, France, Commonwealth, People's Republic of China, Russia, and that might not be everything that you can dive into there. But so there's a lot of different factions in here. This is, again, a hypothetical. I put this all in my alt history playlist, which kind of deals with alt history and hypothetical and, stuff that, never happened. Thank goodness never happened. But could happen. The Next War series is more of this could happen, and so it's kind of set in modern day or near future and how these events could play out and how that conflict could play out. So that's the interest in these games. After, there was a lot of games in the 80s that talked about World War III and the next war in Europe, like Poland. And then once those events, passed us by, once we got into the 90s and the 2000s, then those became, kind of alt history type games, right? Because it never happened, but it was something that you kind of look back on. That's what this game kind of does, but this is in the modern day to near future, so we're 10, 15 years away from this being kind of alt history. As you can see here, let's talk a little bit about what it says about this game is about. These are just a few of the ways. It does a little bit of setup here where there's a attack on shipping in the Gulf of Oman, and the United States comes in to free up or make sure that the shipping flows, putting Marines on ships and stuff like that. It says right here, these are just a few of the ways the Next War Iran, the 6th volume in the Next War series by GMT Games, might start. The games moves the action to the Southwest Asia and allows players to fight the near future war in Iran as the Iranians and their possible allies, either Russia or China, close the Strait of Hormuz. Most of the southern coast of Iran, along the Gulf of Oman and the Persian Gulf, is portrayed by the operational hex map, while the potential Gulf allies of the U.S. are represented by the more abstract strategic map. So there's a little bit of abstract going on here. Or abstraction, I should say. The Iranians have a large ground force, but their air force is relatively old. One thing they do have is a lot of ballistic missiles, and more importantly, a lot of hidden anti-ship missiles and a horde of small patrol boats. Yeah, there's a patrol boat counter right there. In addition, they could call on either the Russians or the Chinese to come to their aid. We got the Chinese and the Russians right there. Facing them is the U.S. with the mandate to reopen the strait. It's a race for the U.S. and any potential allies, the U.K. and Australia and France, and perhaps some Gulf allies, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, and or Oman, to get assets into the regions. In most scenarios, the Allied side has a lot to do with very little initially to do with. Ranging from destroying anti-ship missile sites to reducing the patrol boat menace, the Allies must put boots on the ground to contend with a much larger enemy ground force. Petroleum facilities, oil refineries, gas production plants, and tanker terminals play a prominent role and provide victory points for both sides, or VP for both sides. I was able to interpret that. Can the Allies, with their eventually overwhelming air and naval power, provide adequate air cover while simultaneously conducting an aerial bombing campaign, as well as providing close air support for their vastly outnumbered troops on the ground? Can the Iranians, with the help of their allies, play a wily game of cat and mouse to keep the Allies from landing in force and contesting control of the petroleum facilities? Only you can decide. So there's an example. They're aged 14. Players 1 to 2. I don't think there's a solitaire bot or a solo bot in here. I think you play it two-sided, which for a game of this complexity, I think that's a little bit harder to do. At least I find that a little bit harder to do. And then we talked about the complexity over there. So let's get into the box here and see what we have in store for us. This is fresh off the presses. This is just coming out and just being shipped. So I know a lot of people might be excited to see what is in this box. If you are a fan of the series, good solid box there. Please drop comments down below what you like about the series or what you don't like about the series. Is all fair game. Bag of baggies, got to have that. Got a cool looking 10-sided die. A green and a tan one there. We've got the game specific rules and scenarios. We've got standard and advanced series rules. And then we've got a standard sequence of play on good, thick player aid stock here. There's the advanced game air defense resolution. Okay, so that's your standard sequence of play. Then we got advanced sequence of play. And that's 2 pages, where the regular sequence of play is on 1 page front, and this is 2 sides. So, yeah, I think the advanced game is a little more complex. You got your terrain effects chart. We're going to have 2 of those. Very nice there. Combat results table. Cool, we got 2 of those again. Here's your standard and advanced game tables. Standard game tables. Standard and advanced operational and strategic, standard and advanced game operational and strategic integration reference. That is a mouthful. Standard and advanced strike and LOC reference. Okay. Advanced game reinforcement schedule. And again, these are all on thick player stock here. Standard and advanced unit identification chart. So there's all your different units. And here's your units value identifications right there. A lot of information on these counters. And what is this? This is your standard and advanced naval movement guide. Alrighty, naval movement. Advanced game tables, which is a fold out. So 4 pages. We got 2 of those because you got 2 players. Then we got some maps here. We'll pull those out second. A little bit thicker maps. Actually, that feels almost like a chart. That's a more of a reference or a holding box type thing. And this is the map. We'll fold that out. Here's the other side of the map. Feels like there's kind of a nice texture on it. I'd like to see what that is about. Here are the counter sheets, and looks like we've got 4 counter sheets. So that looks like the Iranians. Or most of those looks like that. Then we got the, can't tell who all these people are here. Have to look that up. Here's U.S. Marines here. Here's U.S. Army, U.S. Marines, Air Force, and Navy. Then we got some of the other factions here. Oh, and I should say that they're two-sided. Got a little bit of a ban on there for reduced forces. Then we have some administrative counters here, and well, some more factions too. So nice looking counters, good thick stock there. So nice looking counters. Let's take a look at the rule book here a little bit. So this is the standard and advanced series. I thought the latest version was after Poland's second edition. I think that they updated it. I wonder if this has any more updates from that. We're looking at 48 pages, and it's a typical GMT dual column. Go in a little bit more there. Just got your introduction, components. You've got color. You've got example of counters. So we have the standard sequence of play, weather, initiative, air powers. This is all standard rules. Then I think you're going to get into the advanced rules later on in here. So again, this is Modern Warfare at its possibly most detailed, especially if you add in the advanced rules. And then you got optional rules here on page 23. And then starting on page 24 is the advanced game series rules. So you got to, and they modify the standards. So you got advanced movement, advanced naval rules, formation, headquarters, supply, special ops forces, detection, air power. So you're just adding a level of complexity. Air to ground missions, defense, air defenses, movement and transport, theater weapons, hits and damage, all kinds of good stuff. So that is the series rules. And then you have the game-specific rules and scenarios. So this is the different scenarios for this game, Next War, Iran. It's kind of cool. I like the full color and the example of the counters in there. Again, I have not, I've only dabbled with this, and I really have not got this to the table enough to really give you a meaningful content on or opinion of this. So I really need to dive into this. I just, given all the games that I need to get to, this one I just struggle getting to the table. I have a feeling once I get it there, it's going to stay. I'm going to have some, really enjoy getting into some of this stuff. Here's the scenarios here. And I think they have a lot of different kind of scenarios. As the back of the box was kind of setting up, there's different ways that we can run into a conflict. So they got different scenarios that kind of show that out. Enter Sandman. That's awesome. We got China involved here. Then we got some designer notes. And then we've got the order of battles there on the back. So let's get to the maps. Let's see if I got any room to get to the maps. Let's look at this chart here. This is your air chart, or air superiority missions. I don't think this has changed from Poland, but you kind of let ready, flown, aborted. So this is how you kind of stage your air missions. It's kind of nice. It's on thicker paper there. Let's see what the maps look like here. I feel like the map is kind of has like a muted texture. It's kind of, I don't know, it just feels thicker. So, whoa, I'll have to go up Periscope probably to get to this bad boy. I'm not going to be able to lay it all out here, but at least we can get one of these on camera, right? Right? Okay. So we've got part of your Gulf of Oman here, and this is all this. Whoa. Incoming. This is all those holding boxes. that this is your strategic display, kind of how you're moving through the whole Gulf of Oman. So this right here looks like this part right here is what's going to be on this map over here, and the rest of this is kind of your off map movement and control and the like. And here's some holding boxes: Saudi Arabia, Qatar, UAE, Oman. Holding boxes. You can actually get to the Indian Ocean over here, and all your different tracks: air mobility points, air and sea transport points, AWACS, current air superiority, submarine threat, air defense, phase track, general records track. We're going to put some of those administrative counters on there, season tracks, intervention levels. So you got all kinds of different tracks here. And this is an interesting game because, you know, some of the games you don't have much naval. This one you're going to have air, naval. You're going to have the whole kind of gambit, I would imagine, on some of this stuff here, which is cool. All right, so this map right here is going to go off to the side over here, and this is more of the hex and counter map that we're all used to. This map paper feels a little bit thicker. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. Maybe I've been opening up too many old magazine games where it was a little bit different. So there's the rest of the Persian Gulf that you're going to be dealing with in this game. So this is really where a lot of the land movement and operations are going to be taking place, with, you know, of course, naval as well here. So very cool. We've got victory points chart over here, air units and helicopter replacement, allied ballistic missile range restrictions, non-allied Scuds, ballistic missiles, naval detection, naval unit, ADF values. I mean, God, there's so much here. I feel like, you know, this to me, the next war series to me is not a beginner's venture in any stretch of the imagination. Of course, that's my opinion. I think there's some people that have gotten into this and said, the basic rules are a piece of cake, and so people are making too much of it. I just tend to disagree, but I need to play it more so I can have a better opinion on that, or have a little bit better, have more sound backing of that. Anyway, so there you have it. There's your two maps. They look nice. I like the colors. A little bit muted, a lot of dark, you know, versions of brown, but, you know, still, I like the look of it. So let's see all that we got in the box here. There's quite a bit of stuff in here. So you're definitely going to get your money's worth if you dive into this game, because of all the different rule sets and complexity that you can add on, as much as you want to get into this game. There are the rules, game-specific rules, standard rules, a lot of pages there, and a lot of player aids, as you can see here. There's quite a bit in here. I can't remember. I have to go back and look at Poland if you get the same level of content, but there's a lot in here. Anyway, that is what you get in a box of Next War Iran. If you've been waiting to go to the Middle East, now is your time. And I think they might actually be coming out. They do a lot of supplements. I think they're up to like 3 now, maybe 4. And there might be, I think they're working on a supplement that kind of links some of these games together. So you can like link some of the different theaters together, possibly, maybe. Let's hope. Anyway, thanks all for stopping by. Let me know what you think. Take care. Thanks for watching.